I worked on an airplane, and I used to notice David. Jerry was the titular head, the director, so-called. That all three got directorial credits on the film, but they would be watching the scene with the Gipper, you know, where I don't know where I'll be then, but I know I won't smell too good. So they came and they would be watching me do the sequence, and I thought, you know, if they watch too much, they're going to find out that I'm a fraud. But it never turned out that way. They were watching because they had detected in me the same wavelength and humor that they had. And then time passed, and I got a call to come and meet with them. They would like to talk. So fine, go over, and they were talking about making a film, which they were going to call, making a series, which they would call Police Squad. And would I be interested? I said, are you kidding? Would I be interested? Yes, let's go ahead. And we did 6 shows. At the end of the 5th show, the series became, it had started out as 35th and 37th and 42nd. It just wasn't working. For whatever reason, the series was not working. But it was news across the lot at Paramount that, you know, it was a given. This is going to be the hottest success in television history. And you can imagine the tremendous disappointment, not just for me, but for Jerry and David and Jim, because you couldn't believe it. And Thermopolis, who was the head of ABC at that time, he said, well, the series didn't work because you had to watch it. Well, it sounds funny and sounds dumb, but it was true. You had to pay attention. You couldn't look away. You had to watch that to make sure that you caught the humor or where it was coming from. And television, people don't really watch TV. They're around. That's why you can have a laugh track. You know, you can read a book and say, oh, what are they laughing at? What is it? Oh, yeah, that's funny. Well, and then go back. You can do anything you want, but you don't really watch TV. And the television screen is too small, because in the screening room, they had like these things around here that look like screens. If it's big enough, you don't miss the humor. You don't miss a chance to participate in that humor because it comes out and hits you. That's why it works in the movie, because that movie screen can fall on you and you're not going to miss it. And you're not going to miss what is up there to be seen. But on television, that's why I think in TV you can have a good movie and a bad movie. You can have a bad movie on the screen at the movie house, and on television when they play it, it turns out to be not so bad, or even good. It's because you can do your own editing as you're watching. And you're seeing this bad movie that was so bad on the big screen, and all of a sudden your brain says, now you're getting to the part where you didn't really like this because it was so stupid and so on. So that's when you look around and you say, I think I got to get that ceiling painted, get that thing done, and maybe I'll do that, I'll scrape that paint off that chair there and get that done. And then you get back and you've successfully edited it out of the story. And so it's not so bad because you didn't have to see it again. Anyway, so the series worked for David and Jerry and Jim, and they knew it worked, and I knew it worked. It was a matter of what were the reasons, and the reasons really were nothing more than the screen should be bigger and so on. So, and I remember saying to Jerry, I said, well, why don't you make a movie, write a movie? No, they said, you know, when we were thinking about doing Police Squad, we didn't think that it could tolerate the length of an hour-and-a-half movie. So that's why we decided to do a television series, so we could get it down to 22 minutes and we could be funny in that period of time, which was, I think, perfect reasoning. So he said, but no, it's done, it's over, it's finished now. And there I was thinking, well, it was a very sad day to realize. And then I'm working with Barbara Streisand in Nuts out at Warner Brothers. And I get a phone call, and Jerry and David and Jim want to come out to talk to me. And all of a sudden, yeah, oh boy, oh, could it be? And they called on Friday, so I had to wait through the whole weekend, you know, to hear the news I was hoping to hear. And when they came there, their visit was, would I be interested in doing a Police Squad movie? And I said, oh, are you kidding? I would die for it. I mean, it's nourishment. It'll put me back into good health. And in the meantime, also, they were in my little portable dressing room, sitting there, and David is sitting there, and I said, you know, why don't we go and have some lunch when I came in? They said, no, we're here. And so I never paid any attention, and finally, I think one of the guys said, well, yeah, maybe the lunch wouldn't be a bad idea. Why don't you get changed and we'll head on? I said, good, okay, fine. And never thinking about changing because I was going to have to come back and get into the wardrobe again. So I go looking for my wardrobe. I can't find it. The pants aren't there, and the golf shirt's not there, shoes, and I'm looking, and I say, hey, I mean, David, what are you doing in my pants and my shirt? And so they were pulling a joke on me. And, I never forget that. It was so dumb. That's what kids do to each other. And they catch other kids like me. So it was wonderful. There's nothing mean-spirited in Naked Gun. I don't know if you remember the sequence in the lab where the lab technician demonstrates, you know, that and he shoots this little thing that shoots a dart into your neck, and you're instant. You just drop like that. You're stunned. So here, let me show you this, Frank, with the new devices. You know, so here, I'll show it on Ed here, and Ed says, what? And he, oh, why me? And he crashes. So I'm standing there looking at this, and then the lab technician keeps on explaining to me, and so on, and this is et cetera, and so on, and he says you can see in the microscope, and so I get the microscope, and in the meantime now Ed is coming to, and he starts to stand up, and I'm looking down at the microscope, and I say I can't see anything. And Ed looks over and he says, use the open eye, Frank. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. And, well, there's a choice made there. He could very easily have said, use the open eye, Frank. Yeah, we go through this all the time. How many times do I have? But no, he was being helpful. He said, use the open eye, Frank. Oh, yeah. That's an example of nothing mean-spirited, and that was the nature of the animal that these guys created.